Oh, Mark was. I think so. Scott Marshall. You talk about it a lot.
Right.
You're excited. Of course. No, no, this one. Where the yeah, that's over Maui. Why that one there? Well, like hers.
It's just a matter of how the legacy comes to realistically, even if we done the same time for sequences of that one record on top of the other. Yeah, it's the same mess. By the time this contract is done, maybe we can start
it was very nice.
No, I mean, it's done. You can't do it all.
That's my house.
Whatever.
How's your board?
Yeah, we're son and I and son and other down in southern Missouri.
That's right. Yeah, how was all that?
Over that weekend.
Was it?
We started questioning our sanity. Early in the forecast as we were leaving that morning on Friday.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Good.
I wasn't nearly as good a condition as I was that time last year.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, last year, first week of August, we had something. And knowing that it's elevation. It really doesn't get bad because you're in a lot more elevation. So it was the lowest area we were in. It was decent before we were a day, a couple of days.
That's not bad at all.
Too long for Monday, Seth?
Is it this Monday?
24.
Oh, yeah. Great. I was thinking on the way home, I need to get my Monday guests lined up, or reminded, so. It is the 24th, isn't it? Wow, that's snuck up on me. I know, right? Just give me the ball. Oh, gosh.
Days are long, years are
Y'all doing anything else besides that review process?
Yeah, we'll be doing
I'm on the starter now.
a couple of weeks.
Now, if there's a
We all put all of the work together into.
Go ahead, call the meeting order.
He's tried.
Roll call.
Ryan. Tilly. Here. Wertz. Whitty.
Here.
Carter.
Here.
Deerwester. Here. Ferris.
Here.
Ferguson.
Here.
Matthews.
Here.
Myers. Here. Prestigard.
Here.
Riddle.
Stand for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand for the invocation. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you again for this day and all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. Lord, we ask that you this evening open our hearts, help us engage in meaningful and open discussion as we go about doing business for the county. We ask that you continue to watch over all county residents, especially those who are in need of healing, faith, and strength. Lord, we continue to pray for rain. We thank you for the rain we have received within the past month, but we could sure use some more. We also ask that you continue to watch over all our military men and women, especially those who are serving overseas. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
All right, don't have any reason at this point to go into executive session. I don't have anyone that was registered to speak, but I understand we have two people, Ms. McKenzie and Ms. Pruitt, that want to speak.
Yes, please.
So, whoever would like to go first.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Christy Cruiser, and I am representing the slip renters this evening with a list of concerns and information that we feel the Main County Board has not been made aware of by the Marina Committee. Number one, the slip rent has continued to rise, but we have lost most of our amenities. Example of this loss is loss of bathrooms during off-season months. A porta potty that is blown over is not a viable replacement. We've lost laundry facilities, running water, pump off, lighting and locked garbage cans and dumpsters until Memorial Day weekend. Boating season is year-round with fishermen and slip renters, enjoying our home away from home. There was talk of a $3 million grant that was supposed to bring back the amenities and do a majority of the repairs. Number two, there is no mechanic on site, no parts, limited supplies, no marina manager or employees after hours, and the marina often closes early. Number three, power bills are not emailed on a regular schedule. When received, there's no copy of an actual bill with breakdown of usage and fees. Number four, emails and phone calls to the marina are rarely answered. Number five, trees and branches were supposed to have been cleaned up, and they are still there since before the 4th of July holiday, and the light pole is still laying in the grass. Number six, Profit from Dock 7 was supposed to have built a small shed for supplies and convenience on the gas dock, which was discussed at a meeting, and it was never built. Number seven, slip renter parking is reserved to slip renters and our guests, but day boaters park in the parking lot and get their boats ready, load their coolers, leave their cars there, and leave their trash in the parking lot. Garbage dumpsters are often locked, garbage cans floating around in the marina, dock floats and old breakwater wall is broken apart and all over the lake. Number 9, marina committee meetings should be held at the marina at a later time so boaters and slip renters can attend. And number 10, when referencing past meeting minutes, several items have not been completed. A few include removal and disposal of old gas dock, old breakwater wall removal and disposal, riprap for washout around shoreline around the entire marina, bathroom circuit box and ramp bathroom, status of audit completion done in May, no lights and safety in the parking lot, status of appraisal, bids and proposals, and striping of the lots. In closing, we would like the county board to look into our concerns as there are many issues that have been brought up at meetings, phone calls and emails, and nothing has been done. We look forward to hearing back and or further discussion to resolve these issues and concerns. Thank you for your time.
Ms. McKenzie? Yeah.
Okay. My name is Lisa McKenzie. I did send out an email to everyone, and I know I've talked to you. You told me you would prefer us not to have our band party at the marina in a public area. I went ahead and I had it. I realized that you said you said no, but no, you didn't say no. You said you'd prefer if I did it at a different time. In that time, I did witness several of the people parking their boats, walking down to the ramp and leaving. That is supposed to be for slip runners only. And the people that were invited to this band party were slip runners from Dock 4. And I believe you guys all had a copy of the email? Yes, ma'am. Okay. I was requesting to hear from everybody, not just from you and Joe, and that was fine. But Joe made no other input, gave us no other communication. The only communication I had was with you. So when you said "we," I thought you meant the entire board, not a decision between you and Joe. So I want to know what has changed and why we were not supposed to be using that area. Now, I know you talked about parking.
Well, you want me to answer?
Yes, please.
I'll answer quickly, so we're gonna move on. We just got the letter this afternoon, so most of the board members here may not have even seen the letter since it was just passed out at, I don't know, 3 o'clock today, something like that. When I asked, so the party was on July 8th?
9.
So, well, the weekend of the 8th and 9th.
Mhm.
So all I said was we would prefer that the party be in August. So
Okay.
we're going to do it quickly. You and I had a great conversation. I
Okay.
asked you questions, you answered me.
Mhm.
Once I said, we would prefer you do it in August, did you ever respond to me again?
I did not, and
Okay.
let me explain. I also went back to the band to see if I could redo everything. And they said no, they were solidly booked. But when you turned around and used the parking lot as a problem, that was my concern. No, I did not share that with you because it seemed like that was the only problem that you had, was our parking lot.
So
Where-
just let's explain the rest of the letter. The letter said that my comment was that we're not allowed to have any other events the rest of the year in that area. That area is yours. It's been yours for 5 years. I've never said a word about anything
But we
being on
never-
this committee.
I'm sorry.
All I asked was that we would prefer, since it was the weekend after the July 4th, that we moved it to August. You chose not to do that. Did I try to stop it? No.
No.
Okay, so we went on without it.
We did,
It's
and
over.
it is, but I just wanted to see what had changed in between this, because with COVID coming in, Joe has never had to have us with this kind of DJ party, whatever, but we still utilize that area, and just to say, no, we've never had to have the board's permission before. If that's changed, then we slip renters need to know what's been changed and why. Okay? As far as he's concerned, I was trying to be very nice and talking with everybody, which is what I did. But I proceeded to have the party because next month, this band is full. We took time off of our busy schedules to make sure that we had what we needed.
Okay.
And not knowing in before we had to have permission, that was our thing. So thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Anyone else that would like to speak? Sir, state your name, please.
John Kraft. I noticed there is an item on the agenda to move forward with proposal for sale of the marina. You guys planning on approving the sale tonight, or is that just to move forward to
We'll get to that, but
get proposals?
that's what it says.
So you already have proposals?
No, that's not what it says.
Okay.
What's your last name again, sir? I didn't catch your last name.
KRAFT. I would ask that you read section 3.1 of the Public Officers Prohibited Activities Act before you enter into any contracts. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Couple items of correspondence. Everyone has seen those. Just shared them here, but I know it went all out to the full board. Is there any questions about either one of those documents that were shared with you? Okay. Moving on to county board minutes. I need a motion to approve the June 22nd, 2023 county board meeting minutes.
So moved.
Ms. Tilly,
I'll second.
second. And Ms. Myers. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
Move on to appointments. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution for the appointment of Kirk L. Henry as the Commissioner of the Rutledge Empire Drainage District for a 3-year term set to expire on the first Tuesday in September 2026.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ferguson. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Joe Whitty to fill the position on the RPC that is vacant due to the resignation of Tom Smers.
I'll second.
Prestigard? Discussion?
Well, I do have a question.
Yes.
So, if we appoint Joe to that committee,
Yes.
and one or two board members decide to go, that might be from the land use, does that present a problem? Because that's
They want to go to,
to the RPC meeting?
what
Is that, Mr. Markwell, is that,
did you say on that?
is that a,
Well, the law provides that you can have a county board member appointed to the RPC, but I would be careful if you're going to have make sure you don't have a quorum of any other body there, but since any other board member that's just sitting there watching the proceedings, that shouldn't be an issue. But if there's a concern in the future on something specific,
so two people from the land use, does that construe a quorum?
Isn't there a
No.
quorum of the board? Not the
no, I
committee?
mean, you could also have a quorum of any committee, and you can't have a quorum of any of our public bodies and be talking about county business without having obviously posted an agenda and complying with the law on that. But I'm not sure what your question is, Mrs. Tilly, exactly.
Three quorum
Three
for,
makes a
for
quorum
five,
of the committee.
five-member committee?
That would be true, yeah.
Okay.
But if any three board members of a particular committee wanted to go to the RPC and listen to the meeting, there's nothing, they're not engaged in that discussion.
Right.
There's no issue.
No, if they're just sitting there watching what's going on,
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Any other questions? If not, roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Abstain.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yeah.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
All right. We'll move on to committees. Mr. Carter with land use.
We met this month and had a lengthy discussion on curtailment, of which we will address later in this meeting under new business. On our report, there is a motion. I would like to table that motion at this time. Due to the fact that the committee or none of the board members has the transcript from the CBA to review public hearing comments.
All right.
I'll second that motion.
To table.
I don't think there was an original motion made to
I thought I
table.
made a
I
motion.
made a motion, I'm sorry, I made a motion. Table.
Okay, but there was not an original motion to table made. You would first need to make a motion
To approve.
to approve as is on the
Okay.
agenda, and then if someone wants to make a motion to table that, then you can vote on the motion.
I'll restate it then. Okay. Well, motion to approve case A35-2023, revision to 155.053B, 1 and 2, prohibiting CO2 injection wells in all zoning districts.
Second. move the table until next month so we can get the transcript.
I'll second that.
First, take a vote on the tabling. Yes. Roll call, please.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
Riddle. Oh, sorry, you signed. Motion carried.
I have no other.
So now we're going to vote on the,
No, motion made.
you want it on? All right, good deal. All right, anything else, Mr. Carter?
No, I have no
All right.
other comments at this time.
All right, public safety, Mrs. Myers.
Public safety did meet, Mr. Chairman. We have two motions to bring forward. The first, I'd like to make a motion to authorize up to $12,000 for fencing runs at the animal shelter from the contingency fund.
Second.
Second by Mr.
This request stems from the fact that the shelter, as with most shelters across the country, have seen an uptick in surrenders, impounds, strays, and right now we currently have one grass run at the facility and several smaller concrete runs. And so this has posed an issue for staff trying to get dogs out in the morning. Many dogs are not trained to use the bathroom on concrete, and so trying to funnel many dogs out increases the stress level of the dogs and the people that are handling them. These runs would be installed, there was a picture of the flat mat included in the board packet. And we would be trying our best to utilize the building itself and then also some of the existing fencing for the impound yard to minimize cost. We did get a quote several months back. Kevin Kemp was able to obtain from one of the fencing companies. It would be $6,500 for one straight run by itself. And so we believe by reconfiguring that and utilizing the building and some of the existing fencing that we can get several runs in place for no more than the $12,000.
Any questions about that? If not, roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
The second motion I'd like to bring forward is a motion to enter into a shelter medicine agreement with the University of Illinois.
I'll second.
So we are one of the, not all counties in Illinois benefit from this, but we are one of them that does have an agreement with Illinois vet student, the vet medicine clinic, and how this is utilized is we can take our animals, we make appointments, up to 2 appointments a month, and we're allowed to take the shelter animals, and they will do spays, neuters, microchipping, heartworm testing, other items at a greatly reduced cost. The prior shelter agreement was for 3 years, and the cost to do a spay on a feline was $25 and $30 for a dog for spay or neuters. There's no additional charge for the shots and the testing. The new contract would start in July and run for 5 years, so it's an additional 2 years compared to the first. The only real change being that the cost for all animals is up to $50 per animal. And the $50 is the copay that we provide as a county, and then they provide the service, and they also provide microchipping, whatever type of vaccines we need at that cost. That's in comparison to several $100s that would cost that vet. So this is really a great opportunity to save money for taxpayers and take care of the animals.
Okay. Questions?
When I was reviewing the agreement, have they gotten their mobile service running, or are they anticipating getting it?
Not this time. She did have it in there. I did talk to Dr. Frazier. They used to have a mobile unit that they would send out, and vets would operate out of that unit. Currently, because of staffing issues and also some issues with the generator that they have at that inside the facility, this fairly large mobile unit, they are not sending that back out again at this time, but they hope to eventually, so they left it in there, but this time they're not providing the service. We have to take the animals to them.
All right. Any other questions? Roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
I have nothing else to bring forward from public safety.
All right, thank you. Road and Bridge, Mr. Prestigard. Skip property, I skipped over.
Carrie?
So there was no action, go ahead. We'll go
Yeah,
to
well,
property.
we talked a lot. We had no action. We expected to open the bids for the roof, and we didn't get any. So I'm in the process of re-advertising, and hopefully we'll get some bids for the next go-round. But we got some things we want to talk about in our new business, so that's all I've got.
Okay. Now we'll go to Road and Bridge.
Our committee did not meet this past month, but we do have one item of business underneath new business regarding the engineer contract that we were waiting on last month in regards to Revere Road. But we'll take that up at new business.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right, thank you. The marina, we did meet, and we had a lot of discussion about the sale of the marina. In the last county board meeting, I mentioned to everyone that we had received a letter from DNR that they might be interested in purchasing the marina. We've now received a letter that they are going to put together a proposal to purchase the marina. And so we spent time, we kind of laid out a time frame of, but first asking all of you, like we did before, was you'll see in the new business move on to that, but we worked on a time frame to do a proposal. We just didn't have it as an action item, so it's under new business, and I'll speak about it as we get to that. Other than that, we didn't have anything to bring forward to the full board. Finance, Mrs. Tilly?
Make a motion to pay all bills?
Second.
Okay, is that Mr. Parrish? Any questions about the bills? If not, roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
I will make a motion to increase the FOP wage schedules for FY '24 by an additional 1%, FY '25 and '26 by an additional 2%.
Second.
Second.
Mr. Ferguson. Questions? Mr.
I
Carter?
would request that the entire board is not aware of what's taking place here, that you go into an executive session, bring us up to date, and have a discussion on what's going on.
Making a motion to do that?
This motion.
I'll second that. So we'll vote on Mr. Carter's motion,
That's based on it being a union contract.
union contract and wage discussion. Roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
So we don't anticipate this to be very long, but obviously when we come back out, we'll vote on the first motion. So we do have to have everybody step out. I would guess it'll be 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll continue with the rest of the board meeting after that.
And you'd like to, the sheriff here?
Yes, Sheriff Walker, stay. Look, Jerry.
I want that guy's shirt. That's all right, we'll fill it. Just trade the different problems. There you go.
All right, go ahead. We have a motion and a second to come out of closed session. Roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I'll repeat my motion to increase the FOP wage schedules for FY '24 by additional 1%, FY '25, FY '26 by an additional 2%.
Second that.
We got a second by Ferris. Is there any additional questions? I mean, she was just repeating the motion.
Yeah, there was already previous.
Yeah, so,
I have a second.
okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? If not, roll call.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
No.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I will make a motion to approve the proposed revision to Chapter 38.040 of the county personnel policy.
Second.
This is for personal time. Full-time employees will be credited with 3 days of personal time each calendar year after 90 days of service. Part-time employees will be credited with 21 hours of personal time each calendar year after 90 days of service. This benefit is not cumulative. Employees will be paid for unused time if not terminated. Personal time will be used in no less than 1 hour increments. And this is to cover the part-time employees. We did not have any personal time already established for them, so this is to give them something special.
Any questions? Not roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And that's all we have.
All right, thank you. We have a few items under old and new business. The first one is from property, Mr. Ferguson.
I make a motion to replace the generator in the county building utilizing ARPA funds.
I'll second.
Second by Prestigard.
Do we have a dollar amount yet?
Not yet. We just got to start the process. And for you, we've got a generator that takes care of a portion of this side of the courthouse with the EMA office to maintain its ability to operate during a disaster. Well, we had one the other day, and the generator fails, and we can't get parts for it. It's a 40-year-old generator, and so we're going to pursue looking for a new generator. We can't even take the existing one out of the building without knocking a big hole in the exterior wall that built the courthouse around it, I guess. But this will enable us to get started looking for a replacement generator. We've got looking at some options. One, we're leaning towards to jump the generator size up to handle the entire end of the building rather than just the EMA area. It's significant, but it's the scope of things. I think it's about $25,000 more. So we're going to be exploring getting a full-size generator and
Jerry, one of the things was that since we talked to the gentleman over here, I talked to our IT guys because we discussed getting a generator big enough to run this building, the entire building, because when this building was built, this area, and Tom remembers this, he was here, this area, northwest corner of the building was built for EMA and the power plant operations. Since then, we have taken some of the area and made maintenance offices and different offices, so we don't have the bunk rooms that we had, or if we had to be in here for extended times. We don't have access to those areas. So if we have to be in here when the nuclear event at the power plant happens, we're gonna have to be here for days, so we're not gonna have that ability to use those areas. So we're gonna need other areas with power to be able to accommodate the number of people we have in here. And then I also spoke with our IT guys, and since then, this building has switches, computer switches, and servers that have UPS backups on them, but they only last for a few hours. He said without having that generator backup, we could experience some catastrophic losses with that, because when those UPSs run out of power, those switches and servers are going to shut down unexpectedly. It's going to cause a hard shutdown. So there's possibilities when we start to bring those up, they're not going to come up. So that's another reason. I hadn't had a chance to talk to Terry about that. That's another reason why it would be a good idea to go ahead and do the entire building.
So that's where we're at. We just want to get permission to go ahead. The word is that, you know, if we got a price today and ordered it, it'd take at least a year to get one. So we got to make plans and get going on it. It's just like everything else in today's market. It's just a way you got to do business. You got to wait on everything. So we want to get started on this and get going as quick as we can. We do have a backup for this office at the County Fire Department. They've got a facility there with a generator, and they are the backup for the EMA operations should there be a disaster. But we need to have our courthouse back up to standards so we can meet our obligations.
Do you think that that EMA might be able to
That's
do some grants?
That's part of the pursuit, looking for that.
Do we need to put that in the motion?
I don't
Or does it
think
make
so.
any difference?
I don't think so. I think it just needs to go.
And one thing, we would not have to put this out for bid, because since that is part of our emergency operations plan, it can be declared an emergency. And also one of the vendors that is getting us a bid is also part of Sourcewell, so it doesn't have to be bid out that way, so.
So my question would be, the way it reads, it doesn't sound like there's any dollar limit on there. You know, I know after June 29th was looking at generators myself. You can run AC or you can run essentials, and this doesn't really indicate what level we're looking at, and I assume that cost can vary widely. So, you know, it seems like we'd be getting approval just to go ahead with, you know, the Cadillac version versus putting some kind of limit or coming back to the board if we're looking at different options.
I don't think it's asking for approval to purchase this to start exploring, because Kevin does have some numbers from one vendor, but there's another company that he's reached out to. So my understanding is by the August 10th property meeting, he will have those figures, and then proceed, bring it back at that point with some hard numbers.
It's so hard to bring it back before the board for final approval, because it reads to me like we're approving using the funds.
But I do believe
That's
it's
the
going to
main
be.
thing.
Okay.
The motion is to approve utilizing.
But the final decision will come back then.
And yeah, I would have the same question that Mr. Woody had is, how do we, are we gonna revisit the final
Yeah.
dollar amount, so?
Yes. We don't have a checkbook.
So we had a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
The next item, I'd like to make a motion to move forward with request for proposals for the sale of the marina.
I'll second.
Second, Dear Western? Yes, thank you. So what I'm asking you tonight is, you know, based on, we've been sharing information with you, the newest information about DNR, but obviously this is going to be, the request for proposal will be open to the public. So the reason I'm asking tonight is because what I'd like to do is, our next marina meeting, the 1st of August, is for the committee to put together the request for proposal, what we want in there. Have the board approve that on the meeting on the 24th,
the board approves that request, that's what we want to send out, we would then post that to the public starting somewhere around August 28th. We would have a period where we would have anyone interested submit questions to us in the month of September. Get those out to those people, to everyone, whoever requests all the answers, we accumulate them and send them to everyone. So any questions that somebody asks that maybe somebody else didn't, we'd want to get that information out by the end of September. And then we're going to ask that all proposals be due by November 30th.
So what happens if DNR comes back with a proposal before November 30th?
We would have to wait and open it with the other proposals on the due date that we receive the other ones.
So,
All proposals, it's similar to a bid. We would wait and until they're all in, not open any, or we don't want to open one early and have that we share information. So they'll all be sealed and we'll open them at one time, shortly after November 30th.
will we let DNR know that that's what's
Yes. I've already told them that we're putting it out for proposed, that if they don't come through, we gotta have other options, right? They change their minds, yeah, right. So we said, I told them that's the date we were gonna shoot for, and they said they could do that.
May I ask a question? Do you guys have to get appraisal to explain
It's
what
been done.
the appraisal has been
Yes.
done? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions from the board? If not, roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard,
Yes.
motion carried.
The next one, I believe, is Mr. Carter.
It came from land use. We had a lengthy conversation at our meeting, and members of the public, and we believe that NL violated the curtailment agreement on that, I believe it was June 25th storm that came through here when the high winds and tornado alert was issued by the Weather Service. And when we looked into it, even though the National Weather Service admitted that they either overlooked or somehow forgot to notify NL, it was our feelings and understanding that condition 1 of our special use permit, NL agreed to automatically curtail if the warnings were issued. And in a conversation, Dee had a conversation, they admitted they did not do that. And we feel that to let the first instance go by would be a very big mistake on our part. And the Land Use Committee highly recommends that we proceed with the efforts to place a fine on them for violation of failure to curtail.
And as the author of that condition, my first thought was that, the weather agency never contacted them, so let them off the hook. The condition as written in the special use permit requires them to curtail whenever there's a severe storm warning. And we had the storm warning that turned into a tornado warning, and they ignored it. They didn't do anything. So I feel they need to own up to it. They made a mistake.
We feel their employees, place of work, they operate out of a operating center at Mount Pulaski, Logan County. Those employees got the same alert that we all got at our homes, places of businesses. So they were aware the alert was out there and they failed to take action.
I'm not arguing this issue that they didn't curtail. That I'm not arguing. But now that that has happened, I think we need to move forward, and I don't know if we need to do that through the full board here or through land use. I think we need to make certain that everybody's on the same page and that they know what is the requirement now. I believe that the Weather Service has now done testing with NL in regards to the curtailment. They're aware of it. I believe that there's go-to persons now that's going to be notified through the EMA office when there is a warning or when bad weather is coming into Dewitt County for them to be notified also. But I just think that it would be best that we try to fix the problem somehow rather, and like I say, I don't know if it's through the land use committee or if it's through this board, but I do believe that we need to make certain that everybody's understanding what's supposed to be done.
I think they're supposed to curtail when a severe weather alert is issued.
Yeah.
Whether, it doesn't matter who issues it.
Well,
I mean, if I'm running a wind farm and the weather that's coming in that day, I gotta believe I'm aware of it. You know, I don't think they can put the blame on us. I don't think they can put
oh, I don't
the
think
blame
they're
on
blaming us.
National Weather Service, and I don't know that it's our job to help them do what they say they're gonna do. I understand what you're saying. Can we somehow help them?
Well, I'm not
I'd be
saying help them.
concerned about that $200 million project, you know, the winds are coming through there. I don't see how this is on us. Based on what we've read, Mr. Whitty, would you like to add anything? I'm just going off the cuff here.
Yeah, I think
you're a little better at it.
cover a lot of this. A couple points I would add. You know, if you look at the second to last page where it has our ordinance or our condition 1, you know, keep in mind all the firms proposed condition 1 all the way up through probably 2/3 of it, up to sharing the data with the National Weather Service. And so that was their proposal. They were going to curtail, they were going to share the data, they were going to curtail for the duration of the event. And then the county added additional requirements, and specifically that we have to define and that they shall enter into a written agreement with the National Weather Service. That's the key to me. They're entering into an agreement with the National Weather Service doesn't negate everything else that they proposed. We accepted what they proposed and tagged on additional requirements. I guess a couple other points. There was some talk in land use about, well, they weren't notified, so maybe a fine wasn't warranted. On the National Weather Service agreement, it's number 6, the curtailment request is where that notification comes into play. And that's saying that if the National Weather Service or WFO, Weather Forecasting Office, wants an additional curtailment for some other reason, that's outlining when they would notify NL or Alta Farms in this case. And it's outlining the protocol for that. If you look at some of the other conditions in here, they're saying the request to curtail will be rare. There's a maximum required duration of 60 minutes. If workload allows, National Weather Service will contract. That totally contradicts what we require in the first several parts of our condition 1. And I think the key point is in number 9, they acknowledge that all this other protocol that they're outlining, number 9 is saying, oh, in addition to all of that, there's also the DeWitt County Condition 1, which we have to abide by. And they label that automatic curtailment. So we've got requested curtailment by the National Weather Service above and beyond what our Condition 1 requires, and then what our condition is automatic. I think it's clear to me that there's a fine. I guess what I would propose, if you look at the Condition 1 where we have the language about the fine, we say severe weather warnings or tornado warnings is a $5,000 fine per event. Now, what is an event? There was 2 warnings that they did not curtail. And in my opinion, you could justify $10,000, $5,000 for ignoring the severe weather, the thunderstorm warning, as well as $5,000 for the tornado. And I think that's maybe one thing that we've got to figure out here. But it's clear that some penalty is in order because they did not curtail and they acknowledged it. And it was supposed to be automatic, regardless of notification. And like Ms. Tilley indicated, I think we, above and beyond the fine, more important than the fine, I think we need in writing from them a justification for why they did not curtail and what they're doing to remedy it so that it doesn't happen again in the future. I think that's more important than any fine, is getting this resolved so it doesn't happen again.
Money's no object to them, so we can fine them until who knows when.
Right.
We just need for them to make certain that our committee's going to be safe.
Well, I think it's important for us to follow through this because this is the first time that they have been non-compliance, and they need to know additional non-compliances are not going to be allowed to go forward. So I think this,
I think it would also point out, hopefully I didn't interrupt you, but I think it would also point out that we are paying attention to what they're doing. You know, we didn't just say, oh, you were supposed to curtail, did you? You know, we actually paid attention and followed through with our original plan. It's a light slap on the wrist for a company that has that much money, but it's still showing that we're paying attention.
So, did you make the actual motion, Buck?
Oh, no, I don't think I did.
I think you just,
But I will make the motion that we proceed with the violation of the curtailment agreement and fine now the appropriate amount for violations as per the agreement.
And who's going to issue that?
well, do we have a second?
Oh, second, I'll second.
All right, Ms. Tilley, second. Okay, now any question?
Yeah, who's going to issue the notice of violation?
I think Mr. Mark will probably have to be involved in that. We talked about that about 3 months ago at the Land Use Committee when we were going to propose language to actually address this when it happened.
I would actually,
And it's his recommendation that we not have specific language, that we wait till it happens.
my suggestion would be that if you're going to send a letter making a request that they pay a fine, that that come from the board. This is not litigation at this point.
Right.
So I don't think it should come from my office. Just a letter explaining that such and such a date, you know.
Well, that letter should probably then come from the zoning officer, and I would assume that you would help her draft that letter.
Well, I was going to say, I would think the zoning officer and have the chair of the board sign it. That between the two of them, they come up with the letter and send.
But yeah, I'll be happy to review any letter that goes out.
I think.
Yeah, a couple questions. We said an appropriate amount. What is an appropriate amount?
Yes,
And we might amend it.
per the agreement. I mean, is it?
There is only one amount, isn't there?
No, well, it's
Is there one violation or
$5,000
two
per
violations?
event.
per event.
Is that one event or two?
That's the
Well,
question.
had they curtailed during the first event,
It would
curtailment
not
would have
be-
continued into the
Yeah,
next
so
one.
if we interpret that way, it's for the duration of that event. The second event, the tornado warning, they would have overlapped. And so you can call that one event. But I just think we need to be careful, and maybe that's something for the letter, that, you know, we are interpreting that as one event because of the overlap. I don't want them to think they're getting fined for a tornado warning and they don't have to curtail for, you know, a thunderstorm event.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I think that's, yeah. I think the appropriate, and this is one fine for the event of that day, but I think there's one at 8 in the morning and one at 7 p.m. Obviously, there's appeared to be one event.
I guess my second question would be, you know, again, I think we need the written explanation as to what caused the failure, or what was their reason, and then what are they doing to remedy that. I don't know if that needs to be part of the motion, but I think it absolutely needs to be part of the letter.
Part of the letter.
Part of the letter.
Yeah, we'll definitely include that in the letter. Any other questions?
Call for the question. Let's go.
Call the vote.
All right, roll call, please.
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Ferris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Myers. Yes. Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.
And Jamie, I think you have the last one.
I do, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the construction inspection contract from HLR for the Revere Road, section 20-0044-04-RS project.
Second.
Is there a dollar amount with that, Jamie?
I'm sorry?
Is there a dollar amount with that?
The dollar amount on the contract is $160,000, excuse me, $160,828.
Thank you.
Did everybody get a copy of the contract? Mark sent this out on Tuesday. This was the contract we were waiting on last month between the county and Hampton, Lenzini, and Renwick. This is for the Revere Road project that's currently taking place. This is for a contract, construction observation and basically material testing during this construction. Mark, you have any other?
They
comments?
base this off of an expected number of hours. We expect the construction to last less than the working days that are listed in the construction contract plans. Some of those hours will be reduced also by my doing some of the work and helping with this, but just to make sure that everything is covered and there's just the amount of documentation and testing that's required in the federally funded projects is more so than what we would typically be dealing with in a bridge project, a small bridge project.
All right, any other questions? Not roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Deerwester,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Matthews,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Anybody have anything else?
I have one small thing, and we can discuss it and vote on it next month, but the idea of it came after the agenda was already published. I would like to look at the possibility of changing our meeting times for our committees. I know the property meeting, at least, with my new work hours, I'm not ever going to be able to attend at 7 in the morning. So I'd just like to look at maybe changing all the meetings to 5:30 or later in the evening. So if some of us are coming from out of town for work or whatever, that we can still make the meetings that we're part of.
We'll look at it. Talk to Dee Dee about it.
Okay.
Just to see what other options we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I said we didn't need to make a motion on it today, because I didn't know what requirements we have.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second by Deerwester. Roll call?
Tilly,
Yes.
Whitty,
Yes.
Carter,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Prestigard.
Yes.
Motion carried.